everyone. I'm Rochelle Chernowski. This is ShellPoint Today for Thursday, June 27th. On today's show, we learn about the new digital TV system coming to ShellPoint in August. FineMark Bank will tell us if interest rates are ever going up again, and we'll learn how to go beyond basic photography from one of our talented resident instructors, Herb Sklar. But first, 4th of July is next Thursday, and now is the time to get your free tickets for our Independence Day celebration. This year, it's a USO theme. We'll be serving red, white, and blue desserts, including apple cobbler with vanilla ice cream. We'll also present a free concert featuring trumpeter Charlie Raymond playing the music of Harry James. And the three-part harmonies of the Apple Blossoms will take you back to a time when the Andrews Sisters were on the top of the charts. Tickets for the concert and the food are free if you're a ShellPoint resident. And you can also get tickets for outside guests and family members for just $5. So visit the service desk to get your tickets today. We're also doing some future planning for an event in August, except this event affects everyone at ShellPoint. Our television system is transitioning to a digital broadcast system, which means that if you've got an older TV, it won't pick up any channels after August 13th. But don't worry, we've got all the information you need to make your TV ready for the switch. Here is Peter Burt with the details.
Hi everybody, it's Jared Pike here with ShellPoint TV. We've got some important news for you about a transition ShellPoint is going through to a new method of transmitting our television signal. And this impacts everybody at ShellPoint. So we brought with us to explain it Peter Burt from Technical Support Services. How are you, Peter?
All right, Jared. Good. How are you?
Well, this is very exciting. This is going to be a big switch, a big change for people. And we need just the basic question, first of all. What are we changing from? What are we changing to? What's the switch?
We are switching from a signal that's called analog and going to a signal that's called digital.
And analog is just how television has been transmitted since the invention of television.
Digital has some distinct advantages. The picture quality is far greater than analog.
Through a digital signal, we can get not only a better picture, but for ShellPoint, it means more channels and...
Definitely more channels.
And more HD.
More HD, correct.
Now, one thing that residents have asked for is the ability to use a TiVo or a digital video recorder, and that was a little bit difficult before.
It was in the past. With our new system, the TiVo units will work with our new system. That's for every channel.
For every channel. That's great news. Now, there are some action items here. For example, your TV set may or may not need to be changed. If you have a modern TV that kind of looks like this, it's a flat screen. Most of these new modern TVs have digital tuners built in.
Anything that was manufactured since 2007.
Okay. Now, if you have a TV like this one, and you can tell it's older because it's heavy, it's got this stuff in the back, and it's hot, this will not work after August 13th. Okay? So if you've got a TV like this, you have a few months to either get a new TV or get a box like this. So kind of explain how that would work.
Correct. Now, ShellPoint will be offering converter boxes. We're going to be making a bulk purchase to get the best price, and we're going to be offering them to the residents at ShellPoint cost, which is $100. We will be ordering them and installing them for the residents that need them installed. If you do need one, please call the 454-2190 number, and they will fill out the proper paperwork and have it sent to you.
So let's recap. If you own a TV like this one, flat screen, it's rectangular, it's relatively modern, you're good to go. When the new digital signal comes, you'll get it. If you've got an older school TV like this one, it's not going to work with our new system. So you either need to get a new TV or purchase one of these converter boxes that they are offering from Technical Support Services. Now, in the future weeks here at ShellPoint TV, we're going to go over the details of the differences between a TV like this and a TV like this. But for now, these are the important things you need to know. And also the date. Peter, tell us the day when all of this is going to happen.
Transition is going to take place on the night of August 13th. It'll happen very late in the night so that when you wake up in the morning on August 14th, you will have digital signal.
Wednesday, August 14th, new TV system, new channels, new HD.
All new.
All new. And so this is going to be very exciting, but we're going to guide you through, folks. This is a new thing, and we're going to take you every step along the way. So watch Shell Point TV in the coming weeks, and we'll explain all the details about what kind of TV you need, what the advantages and disadvantages are, and how you can help this transition. And in the meantime, Peter, if people need information about this transition, what can they do?
They can call the call center, the One Call Does It All number, and we'll be glad to either visit them or call them back and give them all the information they need, answer any questions they have.
So that's 454-2190. Call the call center if you have any questions. And also tune into Shell Point TV. We'll be bringing you more information as we go on. For Shell Point TV, this is Jared Pike.
So folks, it may be time to upgrade to a new TV set. And now that you can buy them at Walmart for under $200, it's a relatively pain-free process. But what do you do with your old TV? Peter told us that they are collecting any older TVs you want to dispose of, and our own Joseph Jomius is planning to take them to Haiti, where they can still be used. So if you have an older TV set you want to donate, just call the call center at 454-2190, and we will come to your home and pick it up. Stay tuned to Shell Point TV in the coming weeks as we offer more details about this transition to digital TV. Technology is just one aspect of our lives which changes over time. Finances change as well. How many of you remember when certificates of deposit or even savings accounts offered a good return on your investment? Will we ever see those days again? We asked Terry Bauer of FineMark Bank to look ahead to the future of interest rates in our financial markets.
Hello, I'm Jessica Stilwell with FineMark National Bank and Trust, and today we're talking about rising interest rates and our investments. And right now, the bond market is very active, and some people believe that interest rates are going to rise. So we want to talk about how that could affect our portfolios and insulating our portfolios. And joining us is Terry Bauer, Vice President and Private Wealth Advisor at FineMark. Terry, thanks for joining us. Sure. So let's start just talking about the current environment. And obviously, interest rates are so low, but what are you seeing right now?
Well, we are seeing low rates, Jessica. We've seen rates come down since 1982. We all remember the days of 10, 12, 14% bonds, and today, gosh, we're looking at 1.5% bonds on that same type of a maturity. But we feel as though we're coming to an end. The Federal Reserve and the government have driven rates down in hopes of trying to stimulate the economy. And while the economy is not booming, we are seeing signs of improvement. That being the case, the market's beginning to anticipate rates moving back up a little bit. In the month of May, we saw the 10-year Treasury move from about a 1.6% return to right around 2.25% today. And that's just the start of things. And I think if most clients or most people that have portfolios out there were to look at their May statement relative to their April statement and look at the fixed income portion of that, they're going to recognize a decline in value. And we think that that's going to manifest itself and grow as time progresses.
So basically that's what happens then as interest rates rise. Just talk about that a little bit.
Certainly. Well, it's really, you can kind of view it as almost as a seesaw. That as interest rates rise, the value of a fixed income holding goes down. And vice versa, as we've enjoyed for 30 years, as rates came down, the value of your fixed income holdings appreciated. We think that's going to, once again, begin to take and move down in the value of those holdings.
And I think you touched on this a little bit, but how does inflation play a role in all of that?
Well, inflation is anticipated out here that we're going to see higher inflation rates as a result of the amount of money that the government's pumped into the system, again, trying to stimulate the economy. We haven't seen inflation yet rear its head, at least in the broad numbers that are provided to us. But there's reason to think that that day is coming, and that would only foster higher rates as inflation begins to be more of a problem.
So, Terry, if someone was looking at their statements and did notice a change and they think, oh no, what do I do? Or if there is this risk of rising rates, what should someone be thinking or doing right now?
Well, what we're recommending is really broader diversification than a lot of portfolios may hold at this point in time, to get into different asset classes. Perhaps it's equities, perhaps it's what are broadly referred to as alternative investments. Things like real estate investment trusts are a popular vehicle. Perhaps master limited partnerships, oil and gas, things of this nature. that while higher rates will have some impact upon them, it won't be nearly as broad or as direct as it would be on true fixed income investments. Beyond that, I think that it's wise to diversify within the fixed income sector. Perhaps looking at a little bit of high yield bonds where you can pick up a little bit of yield in there. Perhaps it's looking to some of the international bonds that are out there, oftentimes through a mutual fund or something of this nature. But I'd urge people, if you do move in that direction, please don't fall in love with those holdings, because there's times to be in them and times to be away from them. But it is a way to take and help insulate that truly just domestic fixed income portfolio.
You know, you just talked about falling in love, so it just kind of hit me that a lot of this, we get emotional. And emotions aren't necessarily good when you're talking about making investment decisions.
That's exactly right. And it's one thing I think people in my position can bring to the table. We tend to take a little bit more of an antiseptic view to investments. You know, there's really nothing easier than convincing yourself to buy something, be it a bond, a stock, whatever the case is, Jessica. But oftentimes selling it's hard. You're either looking to get 1 or 2 more % on the upside, or you're looking to get back to even if it's down. Where those of us that are in the markets every day, we don't become quite that attached to an investment, that there's a time to own it and a time to step away. None of us make 100% correct investment decisions. But I think the one thing that we do is that we're able to take and recognize that perhaps quicker than a lot of individuals can and move on to another area.
Would you say then that this is a good time, whoever your advisor is and whoever you're working with, this may be a good time to meet with them and kind of take a look at where you are and maybe where you should be as we head into the months? I
think that's a great point. I think that it's time to begin evaluating just what you've got, where you want to go. But beyond just the securities themselves, I think a long, hard look needs to be taken with regards to what level of risk are you comfortable with. There's no investment worth its salt if you can't sleep at night. So to identify that and to build the portfolio with that in the picture as well is very important, and that's an ongoing process.
When we're looking at our investments, it's not something that you should just say, okay, I've made my decisions, this is what I'm doing, I'm going to put it away. It really needs to be, I would think that you need to review your portfolio on a fairly regular basis. How often would you say that's something that you need to consider?
Well, I would say quarterly. We try to meet with our clients quarterly. Not all of them want to do that, but we would encourage that. Basically to sit back and have a serious discussion about what's going on in the markets, where we've been, where we think we are going forward. But from our perspective, more importantly, is what's changed in your life? What do we need to be considered today that we weren't considering 90 days ago? And perhaps it's nothing, perhaps there's a significant change. Whatever the case is, that all needs to be factored into crafting a portfolio.
All right, Terry Bauer, thank you so much. If you have any questions after you've heard this interview today, feel free to give us a call. You can call Tiffany at the Bank on the Island, 461-5999. She can get you in touch with Terry or one of our other professionals, whether you're a client of FineMark or not. We'd be more than happy to talk with you. Terry, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I'm Jessica Stilwell with FineMark National Bank and Trust.
Okay, enough talking about numbers. Now it's time to look at pretty things. These photographs were all taken by Herb Sklar of Eagles Preserve. He formerly worked as an art director in New York, so he has a well-trained eye. But anyone can take good photographs as long as they know what to look for. Herb is offering an academy class that will take your snapshots beyond basic photography. It's coming up on Monday at 9:30 a.m. in the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands. Terry Kolath has this preview.
Hello, everyone. I'm Terry Kolath. I'm here today with Herb Sklar of Eagles Preserve. We're talking about another one of Herb's wonderful classes for the Academy of Lifelong Learning. Thank you for joining me again, Herb.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Now, we're talking about beyond basic photography, and the last line in our description is painter, photographer, and graphic artist Herb Sklar is a generous teacher whose love for art in all of its forms is contagious. Right off the bat, I want to thank you for your creativity.
Oh, thank you. I think
and
that was
generosity.
That was a very generous blurb there.
Well, it's important that we realize that you, with your background as a painter, a photographer, and a graphic artist, you do have this wonderful way of looking at the world. And I think that when you talk about your photography classes, that's perhaps when we can see this the best. And going beyond basic photography, who is this for? I know it's a lecture, no cameras coming to class.
No, you don't need that, no.
But who would benefit from a class where you talk about beyond basic?
I think really anybody who's interested in photography, to those who are more advanced, what I'm doing is I'm starting out with my 4 blocks for learning photography. The first one is knowledge, which I hope to give you knowledge. The second one is going to be practice, when you can't practice in that classroom. Right. The other is self-criticism. And this is what we do at the Photo Club. If you come bring your picture every month, you have to stand up and tell us about it, because you don't want to be one of those photographers who say, oh, just see my work, it's great. See this picture? It's great, great, great. Nobody takes great pictures all the time. And then you have the other person who says, oh, this is awful, horrible, I don't like. Nobody takes bad pictures all the time. So you really have to learn to be self-critical of your work so you can progress. And the other thing is viewing quality images. And that's a little tough in Fort Myers because there are no photo museums. So this show has 243 slides. So you're going to get to see some really quality images.
And that is so encouraging. It's also a good example.
Exactly. So that's what we're doing. And then from there, I'm going to deconstruct what a good picture is. In other words, it's very hard to define what a good photo is, but it's very easy to define what a bad photo is. So we say, out of focus, bad exposure, and we talk about it and how to correct it, and then by taking all these things that are obviously bad, what's left then is good picture. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna come at that from the back, and then I go right into that in the principles of design, because when you put your eye up to that viewfinder, you're really designing a composition. So we go into designing of line, shape, texture, and the importance of all of that. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I do a thing on the power of seeing, because if you can't see a photograph with your eye, you can't take a good photograph. You have to see it. And there'll be some interesting ways that I'll be doing that on how to teach people to see and to be more open to what they see.
What to look for.
Exactly.
And when you're looking at something.
When you're looking, you're seeing. If you're not looking, you're not seeing. You know. And so we'll go into that, and I'll do a little bit on HDR, which is high definition resolution, and then I'm going to do a whole thing on all the lenses. You know, 35 millimeter lens, normal lens, what is it? But I'll show you what the picture looks like. Telephoto, what is a fisheye? So we'll break down all the lenses, and then I'm going to do a whole thing on all the different cameras. Why one camera may be better for you, or why one camera may work for you. So we'll be doing that. So it'll be an all morning with, I understand, a coffee and cookie break.
And then let's talk about your photo club for a minute. When can people take advantage of the photo club?
Well, the photo club meets the third Thursday of every month, and the club starts out with everybody puts up their picture on the wall. We ask you to make an 8 by 10, and each photographer gets up and talks about his picture. Then the group talks about it, and then I finish the job.
Well, it's wonderful for us to have so many great photographers here at Shell Point.
We do.
And so generous. All right. I think that you don't want to miss this opportunity to go beyond the basics of photography with Herb Sklar. And it's Monday, the 1st of July, 9:30 to noon. And we're doing this in the Grand Cypress Room, no camera necessary, and you will have a little break for coffee and a cookie just to get your energy back up as you look at these wonderful photographs and learn from Herb Sklar.
It's time now to cover all of today's happenings from Resort Services, followed by your Academy News, menus, and Village Church connections.
Welcome to the Happenings segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chandley, and this is Suzanne Savada, and we're going to go over activities here at Shell Point today. It's 7:15. We have a Health Connections class, Bend, Breathe, and Balance. That'll be down in the Health Club on the island. 8 o'clock's the time the Men's Golf Association will be gathering at the Shell Point Golf Club. Also at 8 o'clock, we have Round Robin Men's Doubles Tennis down at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. And it's 8:30 time for the Paddlers Club. Kayak storage facility is where they meet. At 9 o'clock, we have an informational breakfast tour at the Arbor. That's in the Arbor Dining Room at the Woodlands. 9:15, the shuffleboard courts will be busy with shuffleboard. 9:30, we have current events. They'll be discussed in the game room of the Woodlands. 9:30, we also have the ladies match play tennis at the Woodlands tennis courts. 9:45, we'll find the introduction to beginning line dancing down in the health club. Now 10:15 is the time for basic line dancing in the health club. Then we finally get to advanced line dancing at 11:15, also in the health club. Here's Suzanne for the afternoon.
We'll kick off the afternoon at 1:15 with Mahjong being played in the library lounge on the island. And at 2:45, we have the Health Connections Balance and Mobility Training Level 2 in the Health Club on the island. At 4 o'clock, the seamstress will be here for the weekly service in the Osprey Room on the island. At 4:30, the Alcoholics Anonymous meeting will take place in the Sable Room at the Woodlands. And at 4:45, we have a trip leaving. Edvard Munch, the featured artist at the Bell Tower 20. It's an artist documentary series with dinner at Blue Point Seafood Grill. Core pickups will begin at 4:45 on the island, 4:55 at the Woodlands, and 5:05 at Eagles Preserve. Sign up is required. And our last activity for the day is Pinochle at 7 o'clock in the library lounge on the island. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Terry Coleth with your Academy information for Thursday. At 1 o'clock, we're presenting B.F. Skinner Meets Moses in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands for those who have signed up.
Menus for Thursday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is chicken and broccoli Alfredo with whole wheat pasta and garlic cheese bread. For dinner, it's the Crystal Carving Board for $10.95, and the soup of the day is broccoli cheddar bacon. In the Island Cafe for lunch, enjoy a tuna melt with chips for $6.95. The dinner special is Thai night for $7.95. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill on Thursday are New York Strip for $17.95 or Stuffed Sole for $16.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm Andy Hawkins, the senior pastor of the Village Church, and I'm here with Glenda Stephenson, who's our church administrator. And we are going to talk a little bit this afternoon about General Council. And General Council is the sort of biannual meeting of the Christian and Missionary Alliance, the denomination of which the Village Church has a relationship with and is a part of. And we sent a number of delegates to the Village Church, or to the General Council. And we've had some opportunities earlier this week to talk to Peter Nanfeld and have some discussions about some of the business sessions of council. But General Council is a lot more than that, isn't it?
It is.
And so tell us a little bit about what was impressive to you about the kinds of activities that we were able to share that really is the kind of thing that I think excites a lot of Christians.
Well, all of the services I found to be meaningful, but especially meaningful to me were the opportunities that I had to interact with some of our international workers, to hear what's going on in their lives and in their ministries overseas. Some of that actually happened for me before council started, because as a missions pastor, I was included in some pre-council activities. And during that time, I was able to meet a couple that is reopening the field of India for the Christian Missionary Alliance. We have not had any workers there for 20 years now. And they are going into the northern area of India to reopen that field and minister to professional people.
I see.
So that's exciting. I was able to hear a little bit about what's going on in Mongolia. That's a fairly new country for us. And it's a country that when we entered only had a handful of believers.
That's right.
And we now have 16 churches.
Isn't that amazing?
It
And that's
is.
just been with probably less than 2 decades that we've actually been in there, maybe about a decade, perhaps.
And then I think for all of us, probably the highlight service of council was Sunday morning, as we had a rally where we honored and celebrated our international workers and the ministries that are going on around the world, and we just praise God for His faithfulness. That service included a number of appointees that are preparing to go overseas, many of them to areas of the world that we can't say a whole lot about.
That's right.
So North Africa, Central Southeast Asia, we are deploying a number of men and women, some with children, to these areas of the world, and they need our prayer support.
I think that's one of the most deeply moving portions of council, that every year when we see that happen, or every 2 years when council happens, that quite a number of young men and women, I think probably more than 20 this year, have done the preparation, which is extensive in the Christian and Missionary Alliance. They go through a great deal of theological training and then also preparation in their area of ministry. They do some home service. They prepare culturally to move into another area. And then especially some of those locations are places in which they really don't go as missionaries. They really go in the context of participating in the marketplace of those nations and providing very important services that those countries desire. But they are there actually to be the light of Jesus around them.
And it was exciting. And then, of course, we ended the service with a very meaningful moment as our international workers from all around the world paraded through the auditorium and surrounded the auditorium, holding their flags, holding banners for the countries that they serve. And the whole auditorium was on their feet, applauding as they marched through the auditorium. And we closed the time in prayer. And I think one of the things that I really did appreciate was as we closed that Sunday morning service, the closing comments emphasized that we're all one team.
That's right. That's right.
We're doing this together. We pray, we send, we give, we go, and it was very meaningful.
Yep. Yep. Well, that's an exciting time, and certainly that emphasis doesn't diminish when we simply come back here to Fort Myers and to the Village Church, because we are a sending congregation, a participating congregation in fulfilling the Great Commission and seeking to see the gospel of Jesus communicated all across the globe. And so we're delighted to participate in that kind of ministry together here at the Village Church, and we hope you'll join us. And so thank you so much for joining us for the Village Church Connections.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow as we wrap up the month of June with some nostalgic wedding memories. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Thursday, June 27th. I'm Rochelle Chernowski. From all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.